Pretty urban saga. So a federal judge by the name of Richard Leon has granted an injunction against the NSA. The NSA, that's the National Security Agency. And his injunction says that they are to stop all bulk collection of domestic telephone metadata, and he's also ordered that the government end the program completely. Now, this is a good thing and a bad thing in my mind. I'm of two minds on the subject, and that's why I wanted to make this video, is because I'm two ways about it. Now, the NSA was founded 61 years ago on the basis that they would protect the American public from attacks from terrorists, from spies, from other countries, kind of trying to come in and kind of mess up what we've built here. And the freedoms and things that we've granted ourselves. Now, there comes a point where you become the terrorist in this situation, because the things that this country was built on, as far as I was told in middle school and elementary, high school, the things that they told me is that the country was built on the freedoms and liberties and being able to be out from under the oppressors and make your own way without the watchful eyes and the people just basically making sure that you do what they tell you to do. It's basically founded on those things. Now, when the NSA takes it this far to the point where they are invading on natural freedoms that everyone should have under the founding fathers, under the Constitution, now they become the terrorists in that situation, because they terrorize our ideals as a country. It's one thing to protect us physically, but it's another thing to protect the things that make us Americans and make us the citizens of the country that we call home, these ideals. Now, that's my first mind on the subject, is that they've gone too far. They have become terrorists in their pursuit of capturing and stopping terrorists. They become their own form of terrorists, and it's not something that I'm saying that I'm making up to try to incite some sort of conspiracy. This is genuine. This is something where, if you look at what the country is founded on, you can see that they've become terrorists in their own right. And there hasn't been one case where the NSA has gathered information from these phone calls that they're listening to and everything. There hasn't been one case where they've stopped a terrorist attack. There hasn't been one documented case where they've stopped a bombing or people inciting some sort of insurrection or anything at all. There hasn't been one single case, and they would tell us, because they've been under such a microscope lately with with Edward Snowden coming out and telling us these things. That's the only reason we know probably more than half of what we know right now as an American public, is because Edward Snowden blew the whistle. Edward Snowden used to work for the NSA. And he came out and told us, and that's why he's on the run. He ran to Hong Kong, and now he's got political asylum over in Russia temporarily. He had to run because he knew. He knew these things that the government was doing, that the NSA was pulling on all of us. And a lot of people are going to say this doesn't affect them. A lot of people are going to say this doesn't affect me. They're not listening to my phone calls. I don't talk to terrorists. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't incited any sort of conspiracies. But the thing is, they are listening to you. They are listening to every phone call in America. And that bars none. Okay? That means you, me, everybody. Anytime you pick up the phone, they're recording, they're gathering the telephone metadata, and they are compiling it. They're cross-referencing it and finding out exactly what they want to know about it. And it hasn't led to anything. So there has to be a time where we draw the line, and that's where me and Richard Leon, this federal judge, agree. He granted the injunction, and he also said that this is that the tactics that the NSA is employing are Orwellian. Now, Orwellian is a term that harkens to George Orwell, who George Orwell wrote about basically about a government or a higher body of power that is ruling with fear, lies, misdirection, surveillance, basically the way that it is right now. He said that the tactics that the NSA is employing are most likely unconstitutional, and that's where I say that they become a terrorist in their own right, because if you go against the Constitution that the country's founded on, you're terrorizing the American ideal. So yeah, we might be safe physically, but there are other things that make you an American besides just waking up in the morning. Now, my second mind on the subject. Sorry that took so long, but that's I guess that's my bigger mind on the subject, is that it's a good thing. But the bad thing about this is that, are these freedoms really that important to us that we are willing to let things slip through the cracks now? Hopefully nothing bad happens, but are we willing to hold so tightly onto these freedoms that we forget that there are people out there who are against the American ideal, and there are people out there who do want to hurt us, and we've seen it. It is physically manifested in the past in horrible ways. And are we willing to really say that, our freedoms are worth the lives of people? Because that's really what it'll amount to. There will be an instance, and I'm not wishing for this in any way, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but when it comes to people who want to hurt you and are motivated and have money, there comes a time where it may actually happen, and especially if you turn your back. That's the time where it will most likely happen, is when you feel everything is okay and that you don't need to watch your back. And so my second mind on the subject is that, are these freedoms of being able to pick up the phone and talk to whoever you want, are these freedoms worth that? Are they worth risking your life or the life of someone you love or the life of someone across the country? Are they worth all this? And my answer to that, when I think of it that way, is no. Because when I pick up the phone and I'm talking to somebody about what type of pizza we're going to have tonight, or what game they're playing, or if they're getting the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, if I pick up the phone and I'm talking to somebody about that, my freedom there, it's not so important to me. And so physically, yes, physically this is a bad thing for people, because someone may end up getting hurt because of our focus on our freedoms. And it's serious. It's really serious, because there are two separate ways that this should be looked at in any case. And no matter who you are, if you're Edward Snowden, if you're the director of the NSA, these people have to look at it both ways. They have to. It just has to be something where people take the time and understand that the NSA is trying their best, and they're not just an evil entity that's out there, and they weren't formed on the fact that, hey, 61 years from now we'll be able to monitor everyone's phone calls and listen to what type of pizza they're ordering. Like, they didn't found the NSA on these things. It may have turned into that, and they may be overstepping boundaries, but at its heart, in its essence, these government agencies are trying, at least. There may be some corrupt individuals in there. There may be misguided campaigns, and of course, this federal justice has already ruled against it. So there were things that were unconstitutional that were going on, but there comes a point in time where documents shouldn't take precedence over the need for protection. And I know personally, if someone breaks into my house right now, I'm going to fight them. And there are probably laws that would protect me in that situation, but there's an overall law of the land that you shouldn't kill people unless it's necessary. So what I'm saying here is that the NSA is trying to protect us in the best way that they can, and you can never predict who's going to be the next terrorist. You can never predict where the next attack is going to happen, and they've definitely taken it too far in monitoring these things. But it's also something that I feel that they've done with intentions that are aligned with protecting the general public. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know myself right now. But I appreciate your time, guys, and thank you for staying here for 10 minutes with me. I know it was kind of long, but like I said, two minds on the subject. Pretty urban saga.